Boom. Okay. So we're talking about circles again. Here's the deal.
Oh, this is a review. I don't think I got it.
Yeah, we need to do better at this. Okay, so here's circles revisited.
You ready?
Draw a circle. I don't know how many problems we'll get through.
Looks like homework, but it's not. What is it?
Find the area of this circle. Tell me how to do it. Madison. Not pi r2, close. And that's one of the issues. People who see this formula and don't know what an exponent is are going to do poorly on this problem. Good, we need to know the vocab. If you don't know how to say it, you won't know how to do it. Okay? And it's a equals pi r squared. I want to find the area of this thing, so it's a equals pi 5 squared. Now, order of operations, people, matters. Order of operations matters. Let's remind ourselves about the order of operations. It's parentheses, exponents. Then, multiplication and division. So what do I need to do first? I need to do 5 squared. I need to do 5 squared. All right? Exponents happens first. So this needs to be 5 squared. Have you noticed that I haven't plugged 3.14 in for pi? Please don't. You need to get the exact answer first. It is in your best interest to get the exact answer first. Then we know what this is. Sometimes we'll need to leave it in terms of pi, and sometimes we'll want to plug it in. Let's plug this one in. And notice there are no units here, so let's just call this inches. So it's inches squared. Why is it inches squared? Because this is 5 inches times 5 inches, which would be inches times inches, or inches squared. Right, inches times inches. That's might be confusing. That's not a decimal point. That was just a stray pen mark. So 25 pi, we know that the answer, before you clicked in your calculator, you should have guessed what the answer was. What can we say the answer is going to be about? A little more than 75. We should just know that, right? Why? Why should we just know that? Check?
Because 3 times 25 equals 75.
Yep, and pi is a little bit more than 3. So we know that the answer should be a little bit more than 75. So the answer is 0.5. Cool. And it's an approximate answer, inches squared. These are both answers. So we need to draw this circle and do the area. Now I want you to find the circumference. Circumference. There's 2 formulas that we can use. C equals 2 pi r, or C equals pi d. Which one are we going to use in this case? I want this one. Why?
Because we have the radius.
We have the radius, exactly. We've got the radius, so we're going to use this one. Okay, so I don't want to use that one right now. I don't need to. And I get C equals 2 pi 5. Which, when we simplify this, we want to combine our like terms. What are our like terms here? The 5 and the 2. And we get that equals 10 pi inches. Because circumference is the same thing as perimeter. It's the distance around the circle, right? And then we know that our answer should be approximately 30, right? 10 times a little bit more than 3 should be a little bit more than 30. And we get?
31.4.
Good, inches. And of course that's an approximation, right? We know that pi is an irrational number. It keeps on going forever and ever and ever, right? That's why we put approximately 31.4. Because we're using 3.14 for pi. Now what if we got this answer? Yeah, you'd be fine, okay? All right, let's do another one. Let's do another one. All right. That's a, what is this thing? It's called a semicircle. Technically, it's called a semicircular region.
That's way longer.
What?
That's way longer.
Yeah, but it's a because this is a semicircle. When you do that, it's semicircular region, it's enclosed. Alright, let's find its area. Let's find its area.
Oh, area. Area is. First, we have to find the radius.
First, we have to find the radius. Thank you. That's really important. We have to find the radius. Okay? Radius. Because in order to find the area, it's area equals pi r squared. Unfortunately, this is not the end of this formula.
No, we have to do.
Why?
We have to do r equals d divide 2.
That's true. That's true. You're right. We're going to get there. Exactly. Because this is not a full circle, this is a half a circle. So I put a half in front of it. This is not, I don't want the entire area of a circle, right? I only want half of it. Semicircular region is half of a circle, which means half times pi r squared. Right, that's what that means, right? Half of a circle is half times pi r squared. So I get 1/2 pi 7 squared. Where did the 7 come from? What is it? Half times 14, right? Because r equals 1/2 d. That's where that 7 came from. Order of operations, please. What do I need to do first? 7 times 7, 7 squared. Hey, this is circles revisited because we did not do well on this exact problem. Okay? So this equals 49 pi, sorry. 1/2 pi 49, which is 24.5 pi meters squared. Where'd the 24.5 come from? Half of 49. And now we can plug this into our calculator. 24.5 times 3.14 equals a little bit more than 75, right? 76.93 meters squared. Now if I'm going too fast, slow me down. Okay? But the idea is if I have to find the area of a semicircular region, right, this entire thing, then I need to find the area of an entire circle and cut it in half. Another way to think about this is find the area of that whole thing and then divide it by 2. I prefer to think of it as half of a circle. I think it makes sense when you say it's half of a circle. Because what does the word of mean in mathematics for us? It means times, it means multiplication. So if I think of this as half of a circle, it's a little bit easier to work through. Now, the perimeter of this thing is different than finding the area. Let's find the perimeter of this. The perimeter of this thing is, I take half a circle plus what? The diameter. The diameter is the flat part. Right, and this is the curved part. How do I find that? Well, it's not an entire circumference, right? So this is half of circumference. Because I don't want the entire circumference, I only want half of it. That's the curved part, right? And then I need to include the diameter, which is the flat part. We've done this before, right? This is a circle, right? You with me? And how do I find this? How do I find the perimeter of that semicircular region? I cut it in half, and then what do? Add the diameter. One more time. Everyone with me? Hands up. Hands up. Okay, got a circle. How do I find it, the circumference or the perimeter of that semicircular region? I cut it in half, and then add the diameter in. And then that is the shape we need, right? Right? So, let's find the circumference and then cut it in half. So the circumference for this one, let's use pi d, okay? So C equals pi d. or pi times 14, just 14 pi. Pi is 43.96. However, I'm not done because I only want half of it. So I can do one of two things. Why don't I just go back and put a half in front of all of these? Or go back and divide them all by 2. And we get 21.98. But we're not done. Why not? We have to have the flat part, the diameter. The diameter is what? What is it? 14. So I need to bring that down. Plus 14. And I get 35.98. And this would be meters. So, that's where people get lost. So let's re-emphasize what we did. We found the circumference of an entire circle with a diameter of 14, which should be pretty easy. The diameter of the circumference of a circle with a diameter of 14 is just 14 pi. So we only want half of that, so 7 pi would be another way to think about it, or 21.98. But because we don't want just this, right, we want that, we need to add the flat part in. That's the 14. Perimeter is the distance around an entire shape. Last thing we're going to do. Let's go with blue. All right, last one. I'm making these numbers up, just so you know. Let's go with 12, 6. And we'll call this centimeters. Let's find the area of this thing. What do we see? Don't want to say a square. Square has all sides congruent. Got a rectangle plus a semicircle. How do I find the area of a rectangle? How do I find the area of a semicircle? I love it. I love everyone said. The area of a rectangle, base times side. What's the area of a semicircle? That's pretty funny. Okay, how about this? How about this? How do we find the area of a circle? Pi r squared. Now about the semi part. Half. Maybe that's a way that we should help. Maybe that'll be a way that we can think about it. That the circle part is pi r squared. And the semi part is the 1/2. Well, the rectangle area should be pretty easy, right? We've already got that one done pretty much, don't we? 12 times 6 is, I think it's 12 times 5. No, you're right, 72. 72 centimeters squared. Now what about the circle though? We've got a lot of things we need to pay attention to. First off, what's our variable in the circle? What's the variable we have in the semicircle equation over there? What is that variable? Said?
It's R.
It's R. Do you know the radius of the circle? Well, not yet, but we need to find it. What is R in this circle? 6. Why?
It's like there's 12 there, so it's the same measurement as.
Because in a rectangle, we know opposite sides are congruent. So that means if the base of that rectangle is 12, that means that the top of that rectangle is 12, which is the base of that circle. we know then the radius is half of that. So that means when I plug in 1/2 pi 6 squared, please use order of operations. What's next? 6 to the power of 2, which is 1/2 pi times 36. Half of 36 is then, what's half of 36? 18 pi centimeters squared. So where was the mistake? Well, the mistake that people make is going from here down to here. They think I need to take half of 6, which is 3, and then 3 squared, which is 9. But that doesn't follow order of operations. We need to make sure that we follow order of operations. We need to find the exponent first. Okay, that's first. I'll highlight that for you. That is first. Then we can do this. All right? You must do exponents first. That was a huge mistake on your quiz. Half of 36 is 18 pi. Who can tell me what 18 pi is approximately equal to? 56.52. Can I get a second on that? Because I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
So we are finally done, right? Our answer is 56.52. Wrong! We have to add them. Remember this little plus sign up here? The little plus sign? We have to add them. And we get 72 plus 56.52 equals, oops, that was a terrible 8. I tried to make an 8 just now and I got that letter. 128.52 centimeters squared. What if I asked you to find the perimeter of this? What if I asked you to find the perimeter of this shape? Let's do it. This is the last one we're doing, I promised you. I told you. Hey, we still have 15 minutes in class. Relax. Perimeter. What do I know? I'm going to erase some of these lines that I made up here earlier. Where do you want to start counting? Remember, perimeter is P equals add up all the sides. So this means I've got 3 flat edges and 1 curved edge, right? 3 flat edges and 1 curved edge. Okay? What do the 3 flat edges measure? P equals, what are the 3? There should be 3 numbers that you're going to tell me. 6 plus 12 plus 6, right? Because this side would then be 6 over here. But what about that curved part? Let's think about what is the curved part. We can find it. What is it? It's a semicircle. How do I find the perimeter of just the curved edge? What do I need to do? I need to get rid of, I don't want this. What do I want? I only want the top. Do I include the diameter here? Why not? No, look carefully. It's not on the outside. And this is where I want, this is the tricky part, right? Because here, we did include the diameter. Why? It was solid. It was on the outside, right? We could do the curve, right? I think it was like, yeah, it's like this. Curve, and then we also had that side. But on this one, this is where it's tricky. I'm not saying this is easy. It's not. It's tricky. We have the 3 flat edges. That makes the 3 parts of that rectangle we can see. And then the top, which is just that, right? It's just that. So how do we find that? That's half of the circumference, right? The distance around this entire thing is circumference. That is what? Half of it. So I've got 24 plus, what version of circumference am I going to use? I would use pi d, because we know that the diameter is 12. Pi times 12. Why 12? diameter. Okay, that's the diameter. Look, my T perfectly lines up with that line, that's kinda cool. I didn't realize that, that was kinda neat. Okay, made a mistake. What did I forget to do? I forgot the 1/2. Thank you for that. Actually, I apologize for that mistake. So I forgot the 1/2 in front of this. So 24 plus 6 pi. So the mistake I made, and even look at that, even me, I'm making a mistake because I'm going too fast. I was trying to be too hasty. Half of the circumference, because I only want half of it. So I made that mistake and did it only pi times 12. Uh-oh, I needed to cut that in half because I take my half circumference and I get 6 pi. So now, when I plug that in, I get 24 plus 18.84, which is 42.84 centimeters. Thank you for catching that mistake of mine. I apologize. So that's my issue. I gotta make sure I'm doing the individual steps. Now, I showed every single step. You know, that, you guys' choice. You can choose to show what steps you want. I forgot the 1/2. Some of you guys would do 12 divided, like you would do this divided by 2. Make sure you're following order of operations, please.